Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, nice to meet you all again. And hopefully you are in good situation and condition right now, all the viewers of IMTV. Well, welcome back to our channel, our English talk show with me, Widya Ningsi, as a host in this program. And don't forget to say that today is better than yesterday and tomorrow is better than today. Well, in this program, there is someone special beside me, and he is our guest for today. And for today, we are going to talk about the topic entitled Islam in Australia. And for more now about the topic for today, so let's introduce our guest for today. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, sir.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, before we are going to talk about our topic for today, so let the viewers know who you are. So,
Okay.
I also really wanna know who you are. So, please introduce yourself.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Let me
wabarakatuh.
introduce myself. My complete name is Rijal Mahril. But most of my students know, because I'm a teacher, freelance teacher, call me Mr. Ruci for short.
Mr. Uci.
R-U-C-I. Like the famous name for me.
Okay.
To make them easy to recognize me. So I completed my master degree in the University of Adelaide. Sometimes it is abbreviated the UOFA, the University of Adelaide. It is located in South Australia. I took my master degree from the middle of 2016, and I completed in the middle of 2018, about 2 years.
Okay.
6 years ago, I think.
6 years.
Now I'm a freelance teacher. Sometimes I also teach TOEFL, a little bit teaching about IELTS. But especially for teaching children, I don't handle teaching children anymore. Just like in an English camp made by my friends with their institutions, because handling students, kids or kiddos, is like something like you need a full energy. You have to be playful. No, I cannot play anymore. Play a lot, I think.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
awesome. So you are a freelance of
Teacher.
English.
Yeah.
Okay, especially for example, if the people need to
Speaking class,
class,
online.
TOEFL,
Yeah,
IELTS.
TOEFL.
Wow, nice.
IELTS just introduction.
Oh, introduction.
But TOEFL I'm teaching now.
Okay. So the contact later on we are going to talk about our topic for today.
Okay.
So sir, because you have been staying in Australia, so how long you have been there?
I have studied there, like I said before, 2 years.
2 years.
From the middle of 2016 until the middle of 2018. I took my master degree there, and only that because duration of my study, I have to come back after we finish it.
Okay.
More than that, you have to finance your own study.
Okay, so let's talk about Islam in Australia. So my first question to you that how Islam in Australia?
In general, yeah.
Yeah, in general.
To talk about Islam, especially Islam is still, I think, minority there, because but according to the article I read, and also like the YouTube channel that I also watched, there was it was 7 years ago, there was like a rapid growth of Islamic population there. I think over 800,000, and it constitute like 335% of but it is made of by combinations of people coming to Australia, especially from Turkey, the first is Bosnia, from Europe, European continent, and Turkey, and mostly from Asian, Malaysia, Indonesian, Indian, Bangladeshi, Pakistani. So most of them constitute the community of Islam over there. Like, but yeah, like maybe from the other countries, there is still misconceptions about Islam there. This is like our duty as a Muslim, how to do the debunking of that misconception, how to clear out that kind of misconception. That Islam is not like that. Islam is like this. But Alhamdulillah, I saw that the reality. But now there is like a program applied in Australia, like open mosque program. Open mosque program is for all the people from not from Islamic religion, like Christians, like Buddhists. They are freely. They are they are free to go to the mosque, like to see how Islamic people worship, how Islamic people recite Quran. Free for them, like at least by keeping the norms, they have to take off their shoes before entering
the mosque.
Yeah.
Okay.
And their parents also supportive. They let their children like to be open-minded about Islam. Say, I think this is like we can say fresh air,
fresh air
for Muslim to introduce themselves, like for the banking. The misconception about Islam
of
itself,
Islam, okay,
like in a global perception.
But it means that there is something like a community of Islam, and it is some of the country that make a community there.
As long as I live there, I join in an organization with the Diaspora. Diaspora is like Indonesian people who embrace Muslim living there. There is like I joined like I forgot the name of the association over there. Like the most important, they just like Islamic teaching in Indonesia. Maybe they can say pengajian, something like that. It is done routine. Once in a week. And also there is monthly routine also. We meet each other, like, but especially only with Indonesian people.
Okay. Not the other country.
Not from the other countries, but especially for women married with the native Australian, they also call their husbands to go there to join that community. And Alhamdulillah, I feel like still like in Indonesia, I think. We meet they remind us to take a prayer. But unluckily, like in that town, in that state, I found only 3 mosques, I think, in the entire state. 3. Because at the time I resided, I stayed in Marion. The name of Marion is like, it took me around 30 minutes to go to campus.
Wow, it's not a long journey, I think.
But after getting off, we still have to walk to our campus. So really healthy. Not like here, from here to there, we have to ride a bike, drive a car. Not like that. It's like bus is really a public transportation system. And we have to go to after getting off from the bus. We have to go to our campus on foot.
On foot?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So we are healthy.
Okay, sir. So let's continue to the next question. Sis, how do you perform your duty as a Muslim in this foreign country?
To perform our daily routine as Islamic person 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, I can do it just like in Indonesia. The difference is just like I said before, we cannot find many mosques. Just like it's easy, like in Makassar, like 1 kilometers radius and 1 kilometers from this mosque. There is mosque again.
Mosque again.
It's not totally different in Australia. So I can just find 3 mosques in entire, in the middle of the town, in the suburb, and one of the other area of that state. And when I want to perform my prayer, because I studied, there is like a multi-purpose building. In that building, in the lower level, there is like a, I don't know how to say, it's like people selling, how to say, accessories. In the middle is like a gym, gym place for the uni students, and also like general room, multiple. And the top one is like for the Muslim students to perform their prayer. There is also place for wudu too.
Okay.
So Australian campus are really adaptable to international students. So we are happy to live there. But the only one is like about daylight saving, I think. In daylight saving, sometimes daylight saving means like the duration of the day longer than the usual days. Sometimes we perform Isha prayer at 10 o'clock.
Wow, in the morning, or in the night?
Yeah, the night.
In the
Because,
night.
During the daylight, the how to say, the daytime is longer than the nighttime.
Okay.
Yeah. But in the how to say winter, the nighttime is quite longer than the daytime.
Okay.
Something like that. It's just about it. And I enjoyed it a lot.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Okay, sir. So, do you have done something like dakwah in that country or well?
I still remember that time, like doing da'wah, like because we still join like our own community at that time, not really much, because at that time also I did do something like hijrah or whatever. The most important small kind of da'wah that I did to foreign people is like some of the foreigners ask me, why do you have to do the solar?
Yeah.
It's not really important. It's not really important because that foreigner came from Europe, if I'm not wrong. At the time. Why did you solar? You go here back and forth because that kind of building is like multi-purpose building. The name at the time. Why you have to do it? You're still studying. So I just say like, it is duty in my. It is the duty in my religion. Whatever happens, you're still studying, and when you but sometimes I have to. It is 3 o'clock done, and then we do it. But sometimes also like during the middle we can go out because our lecturer is also doesn't really. It's not really strict to us. Like you wanna perform, just perform it. The most important because there is recording for our lecture. For our lecture, so just you can open it anytime, anywhere.
So the lecture also is you are free to do
Yeah.
your duty
Yeah,
as
the
long
most
as you
important-
get your studying.
You do your assignment. You do.
You do your assignment.
Assignment
It's
and
okay. What do you do?
Yeah, whatever
It's
you do, you can open like the recording every time. Repeat it. But sometimes if the lecturer has a really native Australian accent, oh my god! Sometimes I have to open it. Most of the time, like Australian accent. Oh my god!
It's
like-
different.
Yeah, quite totally different with the British and American. I wish, wow, what is it? Something like that.
But day by day,
Day by day, I can cover it.
you can
Hey,
cover it.
mate, how are you, mate? Something like they're speaking like mumbling, something like that. How you, mate? They pronounce 8 with "ait."
8 with the height.
Height.
Okay.
There's also like some dialects. It's like we cannot find in the British and American
In American accent.
No, we cannot find it.
Okay.
Yeah.